First things first, absolutely first. Massive credit to Watford for what they did yesterday to Liverpool. They showed absolutely no fear whatsoever. They came at us massively. Didn't necessarily press us a great deal, but they were just clinical in everything that they did yesterday. They were clinical with their passing, clinical with their movement, clinical with their finishing. They were everything that they weren't the last time that they played us. You know, I'd said in my preview that we needed to stop the supply to like Sarr and Troy Deeney, Dale Ofeu, people like that. Obviously, Dale Ofeu went off injured, and hopefully he's all right because that did look like a bit of a nasty twisted knee. To be honest, I think he was on oxygen as he was going off. So fingers crossed, Dale Ofeu is actually going to be all right. Regardless of whether he plays for Everton or not, I don't care. Like, I just genuinely hope he's going to be all right in the future. And they were just better than us. They were just better than us in every single department. They outworked us. They tactically were better than us. And they kicked our asses, and we deserved it massively. 100% deserved it. I've not seen Liverpool take a pasting like that since Tottenham 4-1. You'll know what game it is, and it actually gives me a good reference point as well off the top of my head. I remember that game. We were abysmal in that game against Tottenham. We were abysmal yesterday as well, but we were abysmal in that game against Tottenham. I remember Lovren got substituted after about 35 minutes, or maybe even a little bit sooner than that. And I'm not going to level every single layer of blame at Lovren's door at this one. I'm certainly not going to do that. I'm really not. He does take a majority of it, though. Troy Deeney comes out, after the game and says he was more interested in fighting with me than he was in his positional sense. And you could see it all day long. He was caught out of position repeatedly. Seemed more intent on trying to put one on Troy Deeney. Troy Deeney is an I don't care that he's immobile. He's not the fastest, not the quickest. He's a physical unit, and he's intelligent enough to know that he's not going to get it on Van Dijk. He's not going to get in here on Van Dijk. But he got in there on Lovren within about 3 minutes. After that, his positional sense was just gone. When you're used to having Joe Gomez being there as well, why the hell we didn't play Joel Matip? He was on the bench. I don't know why we didn't play him. I really don't. I honestly don't know what happened to someone to think I'm going to go and play Lovren over Joel Matip. I don't understand it, and I don't think I will understand it. I really don't. People will say, you've always had an agenda against Lovren. Yes, I have, because he's not been good for Liverpool since he's been here. He hasn't. Partnering Van Dijk, he's the only one that doesn't look decent next to Van Dijk. Everybody else, Fabinho as a centre-back, Matip, Joe Gomez, work as a unit. Lovren, it honestly looked like he was just out for himself yesterday. He wanted to be the big man against Troy Deeney, and he got done. He got served massively. Now, that's my bit on Lovren. Lovren's 100% done. He was being 100% done for me at Liverpool for about 3 years. How he's still here, I don't know. Bring Nat Phillips back from his loan. Bring him back and have him permanently take Lovren's spot. Lovren will be moved on in the summer. If he isn't, massive questions will be asked. Now, the rest of the team, just not a good performance at all. Right from the defence, from goalkeeping, defence, midfield, to the attack. Didn't take the chances that we had when they were presented to us. Weren't clinical like they were. They were clinical with their chances. We weren't. We seem to go back into ourselves a little bit in this game. It's as if we walked into this game within the first 5 to 10 minutes. We were just like, oh shit. This isn't just going to be like a rollover sort of game, like the team that's 19th in the league. Oh, they're not just going to roll over. Of course they're not. It's the Premier League. If this is La Liga, Probably would have smacked 5 past whoever was 19th in their league. That's just how it is. That's the quality of this league. It really is. People have doubted the quality of this league because of our unbeaten run. How can you say that this league isn't a strong league or isn't the strongest league in the world, most competitive league in the world? When you've got people like a Watford, you've got teams like a Watford, a West Ham can be bouncing in and out of the relegation zone because they're beating top teams. How can you have that? Norwich beating Leicester. How can you have that? Norwich have also beaten Man City this season. How can you say that this isn't a strong league? It is. It's a very, very strong league. Probably the strongest league that there is. But people don't want it to be that because of Liverpool and being top of the league and having 22 points clear and being unbeaten. Well, we're not unbeaten anymore. And I did say, I've always said it, since the talk of this unbeaten, invincible season got talked about, I've said we will get beaten at some point this season. And it probably won't be against a top team. It'll be against like a Southampton or someone like that. And this time, Watford came down and they absolutely, like Thor's hammer on a frigging planet, they just absolutely broke us. They did. They broke us. And this team now needs to get itself together. Whatever they're going to do in the FA Cup, whether they're going to rotate, which I imagine they're probably going to rotate, most likely, get some of the younger lads involved. A lot of those senior players have got to look at themselves, though. You know, Fabinho has still been off the boil since he came back from injury. Seems to take a long time to get going again. Seems to take a long time to get in the swing of things. I don't know if a change of system will help. We've played 4-2-3-1 before. We played it last season for a long time, before Joe Gomez got injured and Fabinho was integrated into the team. Like, we played it a lot last season, you know, and why not try something like that, going back to that? Everyone knows we're going to set up with a 4-3-3. Everyone knows week in, week out, it's going to be Bobby Firmino, Mo Salah, Sadio Mane. You're going to have Fabinho, you're going to have Van Dijk, Robertson, Trent, Alisson. The other variables in there, the other 3 players in that team can be changed. Normally, it'd be Henderson in there as well. He would be the first name on the team sheet as well. How much do we miss friggin' Henderson as well? And this isn't like dropping or throwing Van Dijk under a bus, but people have said for a long time, why can't we have Van Dijk as captain and just Henderson just be like vice captain or something like that? Do not underestimate what Henderson does as a captain. Do not underestimate what he does as a captain. That's all I'm saying. And I'll be really glad to see the likes of Milner come back in, Henderson be available again when he's back in about 3 weeks or so. I'll be so happy to see those guys because they are like proper leaders, proper captains. I'm not saying that Van Dijk isn't a captain material, but the organisation just isn't there from him. It's not that visceral captaincy that we have from Henderson. It just isn't there with Van Dijk. He's a fantastic player. He's the greatest centre-back that we've ever had. I can't say that we've ever had because I haven't lived through some of the generations of when we had Alan Hansen and people like that. I shouldn't have said he's the greatest centre-back we've had in recent years in the modern era. Let's say that because that's accurate. And he is without a doubt the best centre-back in the world. But that team, hopefully, if anything, the West Ham game should have given that team a kick up the arse. How close they were to losing that game, drawing that game, and pulled back a win. Well, now you've had your pants pulled down. Now you've got to pull them back up, tie the cord, and get on with things and get it back into the swing of things. I have still said I will not say we've won the title because we haven't mathematically won it yet. We still need 4 games, 4 wins. That is still what we need. This team needs to show that this isn't the start of a slump. It's not going to be the start of a rocky time. Eni Alyuko replied to a tweet of mine once. It was a while back, maybe January, around Christmas time, something like that. I think we were 13 at the time. And she had said, well, title's wrapped up, this, that and the other, well done Liverpool, all that sort of stuff. I replied saying, it ain't over yet. We've had too many false dawns. We've had too many times where, we've been ahead. We've been so far ahead in the league at times, and we've bottled it. She replied with, if Liverpool bottle it after this such lead, and at that time it was 13 points, they will never win it. They don't deserve to win it. Something along those lines, which is true. Now, we're 22 points clear still. Man City are still yet to play in the Premier League. They're playing the Cup final this weekend against Aston Villa. So they won't play. They will have a game in hand, essentially. I think they'll play next week. Don't know if they're going to play midweek, whatever. 22 points, as it stands, isn't insurmountable. Because if we end up going on some sort of collapse or something like that, which I am absolutely not hoping that happens, obviously I don't want us to do that, I still firmly believe that we can win at least 4 games out of the next however many we've got left, 11, something like that, 10, 11 games, we can at least win 4. Definitely think we can do that. But it's still, this team needs to show us that it will fight, it will play better, and that performance against Watford will now be the benchmark of don't do that. Whatever happened in that team yesterday, I don't know. I think about 10-15 minutes in, I saw some sloppy passes and some little flicks here and there that sort of gave me alarm bells of like, they're not on it. They need to get back on it, big style. Now, whether that means there's going to be rotation for Premier League games, likes of Firmino, likes of Salah, they're not safe. Their positions aren't safe. I don't know. It's a lot to think about. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Also, by the way, if you have any friends that are Arsenal fans, I bet you've heard from them, haven't you? You know, oh my God, they can be sat 9th in the league and knocked out the Europa League, like on Thursday night, but come Saturday, literally the loudest people on earth were Arsenal fans. Unreal, and I don't know why. Okay, we're not going invincible. Fine, totally get it. But seriously, come on, focus on your own club. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll catch you later.